Welcome back. The Soweto Theatre will, from the 16th to the 18th of November, host the 2022-2023 installment of the South African Music Week. The second edition of the event is set to treat music enthusiasts to various workshops, panel discussions and exhibitions that aim to explore some of the critical areas concerning the industry. For more on this, let's now chat to the event CEO, Michael Moeti, and he joins me now in studio. Mr. Moeti, very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Likewise, it's an absolute pleasure hosting you this morning.
Yes,
Tell us about the South African Music Week and what is it about and what it aims to achieve.
Yeah, the South African Music Week event, it's actually a 3-day event. It's broken down into a conference, a festival, a technology expo, B2B. We also publish an industry directory. And this time we decided to shift the focus to the SADC countries.
Okay.
Because if you look at it, the most recent success of Master KG's Jerusalem song, actually the success of that song was made possible by the Angolans. The Angolans started the dance, and that went viral globally.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at over, what, 500 million streams around the world?
Yeah.
And I was recently in Dublin, Ireland, at a sister event called Ireland Music Week. And the Irish were still doing the dance.
Wow.
Excited about South Africa, you know.
Wow.
So this event that we are doing is primarily geared towards empowering emerging talent youth. The theme of the event is Music in the 4IR, Bridging the Digital Divide. We are focusing on SADC. SADC, collectively as a market, is made up of 300 million households. You have 16 countries with a population of 300 million.
Yes.
So if you're an artist and you're selling in that market, even if you sell 10%, you become an instant millionaire. So this event that's coming up, it's an event that we're really rewriting the history books in terms of positioning South Africa internationally. We're running what we call an international trade program. Actually, our colleagues in Canada who mentored us are coming to this event. We have a delegation coming from Canada. And they've also extended an invitation to do a spotlight on South Africa in June 2023.
Okay.
So we're really about empowering youth. We're calling on everyone who's young, who's enthusiastic about being in the business, wants to get somewhere. You want to go anywhere in the world, come to SA Music Week at the Soweto Theatre, and get to interact with experts. We give out bursaries. We advise you on how to get a recording deal. I mean, you'll even be surprised. Canada in itself will actually fund you to tour that country, being South African. Okay. So really,
Mr. Moeti, just reflecting on last year's edition, what are some of the key deliverables that you'll be taking forward to this year's edition of the South African Music Week? I mean, what was it that was discussed last year, implemented, and just trying to augment it from there on? Well,
I think it's a continuing dialogue about the industry. You know, remember the midst of COVID was the worst time for artists. You know, a lot of artists went into poverty. Yeah. So we really wanted to inspire artists that there's a sense of hope in moving forward. That, you know, don't give up. You know, if you have people like ourselves, you know, it's not even about ourselves as Michael Moeti. It's about the artists. Yes. You know, so one of the benchmarks of our event is that, you know, we supported a lot of artists. We put them on stage for the first time. Post-event, they were knocking at our door. They want to have continuation with, you know, us supporting them. Yes. So we've decided as well to set up a streaming label so that we can begin to get these young artists out into the world. But more importantly for us, the success of that event was the engagement with the Canadian industry. And I think there are lessons to be learned from Canada. I mean, Canada, you know, is a small country, what, 36 million? Yet packs a punch in developing and exporting international stars. Drake, The Weeknd, Michael Bublé, the list goes on. So for us, really, one of the achievements was as well that for the first time we published an industry directory, a resource that I think will be very useful for young people or for industry practitioners. If they want to do business in the business of music, they need a resource. Because remember, some of these events, they come and go. Yes. But, you know, you want sustainability. so that artists can connect with the industry and know who to talk to. Yeah. So we really, I think for us, really the greatest achievement was making a mark internationally. I remember in one of the sessions, which was virtual, we had a team from Spain and Chile that were actually connected virtually into the conference. And, you know, the excitement about being, you know, part of this event and working with South Africa. And I think more importantly is that Mandela is still a very powerful brand that has a big appeal. Everywhere you go internationally, like I said, I was out in Dublin at a sister event, Mandela, you know, people remember Mandela. So really what we are doing is we're really trying to carve, you know, a niche for South Africa. And I think what South African Music Week is about, it's your doorstep into the world. We actually want to bring the industry to your doorstep so that you can interact with that industry and actually sell your music in these different countries. And we also are trying to...
And before exporting the music to, you know, to the international community, I suppose it's very crucial and prudent that we start addressing some of the critical issues affecting South African artists yet domestically. And there's various issues like, you know, you've just mentioned opening the doors for record labels to take in some of these artists. So the stakeholders, I suppose, should be some of those record labels, the government, and you know, various other people responsible in the industry and in terms of opening doors for some of these artists. Say, for instance, if an artist knocks on a record label's door and they're turned away, instead of turning them away, they should rather advise them on what they should do better for these record labels to take them in. So I suppose these are some of the discussions that should be had.
Yeah, I mean, I can even say that certainly it's a daunting challenge for artists. Yeah. To make it out there. They don't know how to go about it. I mean, certainly the atmosphere that you get with a lot of the record companies, you know, it's kind of like a standoffish approach, you know. But what we're trying to do with South African Music Week is really have a friendly approach to say, look, you're as valuable as we are as South African Music Week. Our responsibility is that we are revolving the door between yourself and the record companies. But I think one of the biggest challenges for artists is that we really are in the fourth industrial revolution. And if you don't have access to data, you cannot play in the 4IR. The biggest challenge that we have in South Africa right now is the high cost of data. If you're an artist, you want to stream content. We are now in the streaming economy. Yep. You want to stream content, it costs a lot of money. So part of what we are trying to do is really come up with a kind of like a convergence strategy as South African Music Week as we go forward. We're looking also for technology solutions that can augment the challenges that our industry is having. Actually, as we're trying to put together these SADC countries as an export market that we're focusing on. And in the research that we're doing, one of the things we found out is that the one country where it's the most expensive to go online is Swaziland. And the reason for that is because in Swaziland you have one telecom that has a monopoly. Okay. So we're trying to promote diversity. Right. We're trying to, but at the same time, I think government has an important role to play. And I think we're very thankful that the National Department of Sports, Arts and Culture is behind South African Music Week as a partner. So is the Gauteng Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation.
And I'm told that there will be awards being handed out?
Yes. Okay. And I think that it's very important to inspire our young people. And I think, we've got a video right now. Unfortunately, I didn't get it to you. Jonathan Butler in New York. He's just sent us a thank you message. He won't be here. He's one of the guys that we're honoring. Okay. We're honoring Master KG. Particularly, we want Master KG to also...
Unfortunately, Mr. Moeti, we are out of time. But just briefly, how do people attend this conference?
The event is free. You can make your way to the Soweto Theatre. Okay. And as well as you can go online, samw.co.za, and register. But the event is free. We're inviting everyone to come and join us.
All right. Great chatting to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.
Good stuff. That's Michael Moeti. He's the CEO of the South African Music Week, and he joined us this morning to talk about their 2022-2023 edition of the event.